You're the guy people call when they need a helping hand, moving furniture, unloading a truck. But lately, your shoulder's been acting up, and you're the one who's calling for help. And that's the moment you realize you can no longer shoulder the load.
The Joint and Spine Center is Cincinnati's leading destination for orthopedic care, with a range of surgical and non-surgical treatments. So when a moment has the power to change the rest of your life, go to the one place with the power to change it for the better, the Christ Hospital Health Network. This changes everything.
The Pound This podcast is brought to you by Sway, artfully crafted, ready-to-drink cocktails from Mad Tree Brewing. This is episode 767. Update! Toria Cannon's journey from new mom to 10K finisher.
I want to lose weight, but I don't know how to get started.
What should I meal prep every week?
How do I get those sweet booty gains?
Inspiration for your healthy lifestyle. The Pound This podcast with Amanda Valentine.
What up, homies? Before we get into the update from Toria about her finishing her very first race, her 10K this past weekend, I want to tell you about my friend Sarah and Team Fit With Me if you're looking for a great coach. Sarah might not be a running coach, but Sarah can help you with your nutrition, your macros, hormonal health, also with your physical health with personal training. So working on your exercise, your nutrition, and your mindset. Sarah has an entire team. So if you've been struggling, you just want to learn some more, whether your goal is to just feel better, move more, lose weight, Team Fit With Me can help you because, again, Sarah has this amazing team of people behind her. And right now, you can get 10% off You can get 10% off month one of all packages and plans when you go to teamfitwithme.com/poundthis, and you'll find that link in the show notes. Thank you so much for listening to the Pound This podcast. I'm Amanda Valentine. Toria Cannon, 10K finisher, and alive to tell the story.
I know. And not even barely alive. I was fully alive. I felt good.
Well, I was excited. So the Flying Pig was this past weekend here in Cincinnati. We started in January with you training for the pig to run your first 10K to run. You've never run in any race before, right?
Mm-hmm. I've never run more than a mile. And when I do run a mile, it was like 15 minutes. Like it was like someone's walk.
Nice. So we started training in January. You were training with Fleet Feet with the running club, and then you were cross training with me at the gym. So, several months have gone by, and finally it got here this weekend. But man, what a rocky road you had along the way, because even including now, it feels like you're sick like every 2 seconds.
Sick again, literally, January hit, the first week of January when we were supposed to start training, you and we were going to start training with Fleet Feet. I get COVID, so I'm down for the count. And then every other week since then, I have had sinus infection, upper respiratory infection. And everyone's like, maybe now it's just your allergies. And I'm like, I have had prescription allergy medicine since I was 5, and I've never felt this way. So I told my husband, I was like, I think I need to see an ear, nose, and throat specialist, because whatever is lodged up in there, it's just not coming out.
Were you ever this sick before you had a baby?
No.
See, it's her
fault. When I lived with my parents, I would get several sinus infections a year because they had a wood burning stove. But and I had really bad allergies. Once I moved out, I might get a sinus infection like once every year and a half or something. But yeah, and Elle's, knock on wood, not sick.
But she's been sick most of the times with you, hasn't she?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's fun for you guys.
I know. But at least Saturday I felt good. Saturday I had kind of like a little congestion, but once I started running, it was gone. But yesterday and today, it's like my voice is starting to go, and I'm like, what the heck?
So how are you feeling Saturday morning going? the 10K, what time did that start? Like 7:30 in the morning?
7.
Okay. So were you feeling good? Were you feeling confident? Like, tell me how you felt.
I got up at 5. I ate my peanut butter banana wrap and had my cup of tea. And I was pretty chill. I got down there. I was more worried about parking than the actual race. Found very close parking.
Nice.
Went to the Fleet Feet tent, took a picture, saw my people, wished me luck, and then we were off.
And how was the race?
Surprisingly, like I told you, going into this, I was not a runner at all. I've never ran over a mile. I ran the first 3 miles consecutively.
Heck yeah, dude.
I did. And then the last 3, I had intentions to interval, run, walk the third mile, and then fully run the last two. But I just was like, okay, I don't want to push myself too hard because I thought my heart was going to explode and my lungs were going to explode. So I just did interval the rest of the way, but I ended it feeling good, which I was glad. That's awesome. Now my goal was to just finish. Now I'm going to have a new goal for like the next time I do it. And I actually think I'm going to be training for the half for next year.
Oh my God, shut up. Are you really? I mean, when we talked earlier, I think maybe even the last podcast we did, you're like, oh, I'm never going to do that.
I wasn't going to do it. Honestly, I was like, I think I don't need to run over 6.2 miles ever. But my husband was like, I kind of want to train for the half. And then all my neighbors were like, the 3 girls always run the half, and their husbands were like, well, we'll do it. And one of the husbands is like on my level, like never runs. So I was like, let's do it together, like make it a goal. So now all of the neighbors are going to do it together.
So are you planning on doing the pig next year or the queen bee in the fall?
Probably the pig.
Okay.
Yeah.
That'll be, or would you join the Fleet Feet running group again to do that? Or are you going to run with your neighbors?
Well, my neighbors could train me if I wanted to, but I wouldn't want to take away from like their training. So I'd probably do Fleet Feet. Yeah. It was nice to have that structure.
Yeah, and just especially like training for a half. I feel like when I ran, when I was able to run them, and like when I ran my first half, I just kind of created my own training, and it just blew my knee out. And I was told a couple weeks before the race that I shouldn't run it at all, and of course I did because I'm stupid. But like it's one of those things where I feel like if I had some sort of structure, I probably would have been in much better shape to run the race. Because 13 miles. I mean, it sucks.
It's I mean, I think about 6.2 and how excited I was to cross the finish line. Look at my dog's with me and she wants out of the room I'm in. But I can't imagine 13.1 crossing the finish line. You're probably like just fall over. You're so exhausted.
Well, yeah, and especially doing the pig, it's hilly. I mean, it's hilly. I mean, I walked the half yesterday, and just walking it is like hilly.
Was dying at your stories. You're like, I'm probably going to get in trouble for just like promoting getting a coffee while you're walking. But like you said, it's your race.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's where, I mean, I love walking them now. And as much as I loved running them, I mean, I really loved running them when they were over. And I mean, running is a love-hate relationship I had with running. But the last time I ran the pig, I did the 3-way with extra cheese, which is 4 different races. I did that 2 years in a row. So I did the 1 mile on Friday, the 10K followed by the 5K on Saturday, and then the half on Sunday.
That's when you were running?
Yeah, so the last time, when I saw how cool the medals were this year with everybody that did the 3-way and the 4-ways, I'm like, damn it, I should have done that. But I don't think I couldn't have walked the 10K and the 5K because of timing back to back. I would have had to run one, and I didn't really need to really make my knee that angry just to get pretty medals. But the last time I ran them was 2017. But since I've done that, I walk them all, which is just its own experience, which I think is really fun if you've run them before, even if you've never run them, because you get to read all the signs, you get to give all the high fives, you get to like just really kind of, soak it up. Sometimes I walk with other people. Like yesterday, I walked by myself, and sometimes, like even yesterday, like a friend of mine called. I was chatting on the phone, and I'm getting coffees in the middle of the walk. And I mean, I wasn't the very last person. And even when I went into Urbana, so Urbana is a coffee shop for people that aren't in Cincinnati. It's in East Walnut Hills, which is around mile 8 of the half marathon. And it's where the marathon splits between the half marathoners and the full. Mm-hmm. And I walked in there and everybody turned around. And last time I had gone in there and got a coffee was pre-COVID. So it's been a while, mid-race. And so they're like, are you running? And I'm like, well, I'm walking it. And then the people like in line, like moved over, like, go ahead in front of me. And I'm like, oh, thank you. And then somebody else, I'm assuming he was a manager or an owner, was like, are you doing the race right now? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, don't let her pay for her coffee. I got your coffee for you. I'm like, oh, thank you. And they're all just kind of like, what a freak show in here. That's in the hilarious. Middle of the race. And I'm like, you had the door open. I'm going to come in here and get a coffee. I'm just going to keep walking with my coffee.
Yeah, exactly. You're taking your time and enjoying the whole experience.
So, I mean, you can't
Now,
really do that while
at
you're
the
running.
finish line, is the finish line still pretty crowded for the walkers that are finishing up the half?
Oh, yeah, because the full is still finishing, and they're finishing for a while. So when you finish, I mean, even I wasn't the last, and I've been the last before. I've had like the cop car behind me and that's mostly clean B because it's just the half. There's not a full. But I mean, there's still plenty of people behind me and they're taking their time. And again, it's like the whole race course is like 7 hours. So you can take your time. And then, the full people were still coming in strong. And even then I went to the, after party and I went and hung out at the Fleet Feet tent and, just took my time. And even then crossing back over Roebling, like over where all the finish line is, there's still plenty of people still running in. So it's like there's no a danger I felt, because I feel like some people probably wouldn't want to walk it because they're just like, oh, I don't want to be last. I don't want to hold anybody up, and you have anxiety about it. But I'm like, don't worry about it. It's fine.
Yeah. The winner of the Fool, the gentleman, he ran it in like almost 2 hours less time than you walked it.
I know, right? It took me 4 hours to walk it, but I was also like getting coffee in the middle of it
and taking your time and enjoying it. But his was like 2:20 something, like just insane. Like I think it was like a 6-minute mile or.
Oh my God. And it's so hilly too, especially that full course.
That's what everyone was saying.
Yeah. The pig is brutal. I mean, it's one of the best races in the country, but I'm like, God, Cincinnati.
My mother-in-law, she said maybe her friend always runs a lot of halves and fulls, and she's like, I refuse to run Cincinnati's because it's just way too hilly.
Yeah, I know several people that bail on Cincinnati and go to Indianapolis because Indianapolis is painfully flat.
Yeah,
but I mean,
the 10K was not bad because it's like you got a little bit through Ohio, and of course you got to run up the bridges, but Kentucky was flat. And then you run back up the bridge. Once you get off, what is that? The Roebling Bridge?
I don't know. You did traffic for like 1,000 years on the radio. You don't know what bridges they are?
I think it's Roebling. Roebling Bridge drops down like by the Red Stadium. Is that right?
No, the Roebling is
Roebling is by like Yard House and stuff.
Yeah, I don't remember the name of that bridge. There's a couple bridges
Maybe
I don't know the name of.
Southgate Bridge. I don't know. Anyways, once you get off that one by the Red Stadium, Broadway goes up Broadway. And there was that hill.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, I had just completely ran 3 miles without doing run walk. So once I got there, I was like, okay, there's a pole. And this hill was steep. It wasn't long, but it was steep. I was like, there's a pole. I'm going to try to make it to that pole. And then I'm going to readjust, see how I feel, and then probably walk. And there was a lot of people that were like, using that hill as a little breather and walking it. So I started walking, and then I just went to my intervals on my watch. And so I did like 3 on, 1 off, and that's how I finished it. And I felt good, except for the last like half mile. I ran all that. And then I saw my mom and my boyfriend, my husband and my daughter.
And your boyfriend.
And my boyfriend. Lovers everywhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, John made a sign that said, "Hi, mommy, I pooped. Did you?"
Yeah, I saw
because
that.
I had texted him in the morning because the last time I ran 6.5 miles with Fleet Feet, I didn't poop. I just didn't, and I felt fine. So I was like, man, am I going to do it before the race? Or am I going to be good? And then I wind up having to do it in a porta potty.
Oh, no. Nice.
But I got it out. I texted him. I'm like, I went poop before the race. And that's why he made that sign. It was funny.
Just like you would poop every time you got to the gym.
Every single morning. And what's funny is that's like a thing, though. It's like runners hope that they get the poop before the race.
Yeah. Well, I was concerned with that by getting a coffee mid-race, where I'm like, man, I am gambling. I'm like, I should be fine. I usually don't have a problem, but I'm like, well, there's porta potties. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, there's on the route. Yeah. I loved, and I'm sure they have it for the half too, but the people passing out licorice and Oreo cookies and the waters, and it was just good freaking vibes all around.
Yeah. Did you get rained on at all? I know that was a big concern.
There was a little sprinkle in Ohio, almost like going up towards like Eden Park. And then we turned around. We didn't go into Eden Park, but that's where it rained. But luckily there's like overpasses. So most of the rain, which was like 3 seconds, I was under a bridge.
Nice. Yeah, because yesterday I felt so bad for the runners doing the full and the half because it was humid. Like when I walked outside my house, it was gross. Like I wore a jacket leaving my house at like 6 a.m. Or I guess I left at like 5:45, and I'm like, ew, it is sticky out here. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't imagine running in this. Yuck.
My neighbor ran the half yesterday, and she said the first 6 miles were brutal because of how humid it was.
Yeah, and then at the end, I felt bad for that people were still finishing because then the sun came out. So it was humid, it rained for a little bit, and then it got like just searing sun on top of it. I'm like, man, they went through everything yesterday, especially those full marathoners. I'm like, oh my God, I hope that they celebrated hard afterwards because they deserved it.
Yeah. We did Sunday Fun Day yesterday with my neighbor, Sarah.
After she did the race?
Yeah.
Nice.
It was fun.
Yeah, yesterday got really nice after the morning. The morning was a little gross, and then it got really nice.
It was perfect. I threw a pair of shorts on Elle, and we went out. She played with a water table. She was loving her life.
So do you think you'll do any, I mean, you said you want to train to do the half next year. Do you plan on doing any runs the rest of this year?
You know, Fleet Feet has where they're going to train again to do the Hyde Park 4K. Or Hyde Park, it's 4 miles. I don't know what that K would be. 4 miles.
No, well, that's more than a 5K is 3 miles. I don't know.
Yeah, so would it be a 6K? I don't know. But
anyways, no idea.
Hyde Park 4 mile run. I might do that. I don't know. I was kind of thinking of I told my neighbors, I was like, I think I'm going to start running consistently 3 times a week, 2 to 3 miles every time, and still do my intervals, but like up my intervals where it's like 5 on, 1 off, and she's like, just watch your progress. She's like, it's so fun to watch your progress. And she's like, you should go out one day where you know our route around our neighborhood. Don't take your watch. Don't take anything to track your pace. She's like, and just run 30 minutes. And she's like, you'll surprise yourself with like how well you do without constantly looking.
Oh, yeah.
So both my neighbors have ran, like Amy's ran her whole entire life. So she loves this kind of stuff. She was so excited for me.
That's awesome. Well, I'm glad that you liked it. I'm glad it was just, kind of an experiment where I kind of came after you last year of like, yo, you want to run a race?
Yeah. And like, I had goals during that too. Like, oh, I want to like lose weight while I'm doing it too. And I lost like 5 pounds, but like my diet didn't really change. And I told John, I said, after this 10K, I really want to get back into a routine and eating healthy, because I want to make myself feel better. And I think I would have done better had I put that effort into it. And I was like, hopefully I'm not sick every other week.
Yeah, right.
Moving forward. Now that the weather's getting nicer, hopefully I'm through that. A lot of moms told me that never goes away as a mom. They're like, when your kid gets sick, the mom always seems to get hit the hardest.
Oh, how fun for you.
That's I know. So I'm feeling that one.
So you said John wanted to train for the half next year. Is he going to run it all this year? Has he ever run? I can't picture him running.
He ran in high school. He did cross country.
But he was like a string bean then, though. Like he was so tiny that I never knew like small John. I've always known like like beefed up Chipotle John.
Yeah, he was very skinny in high school. He was a cross country runner. I don't think he's ran a lot. I mean, he'll do cardio and stuff, but not running. So yeah, but I feel like with men though, it's just so different. It's like since he ran when he was younger, it's going to be like riding a bicycle for him. He'll just pick up within his endurance right where he left off. Whereas someone like me has to work for it.
Right.
I was trying to get my dad to do the 10K with me next year before I decided to do the half, because he was a track and cross country runner. And he's like, no, I'm good. My sister walked down from her house with my parents, and she told my dad, wear your best walking shoes. We have to walk a mile there. We have to walk around down there, and then we'll walk a mile back. He shows up with his work boots that are covered in mud. And I was like, Dad, Ariana told you to wear your walking boots. He's like, these are the best ones I have. I'm like, all right, you do you.
As long as he was comfy, I guess.
Comfy as can be.
Yeah, there's a lot.
He was loving it.
Oh, yeah, because it's just such a fun vibe down there. Did he make signs and stuff too?
No, he didn't. My mom and dad my mom was so happy to come. At first, we had a surprise 60th for my dad night. So my mom wasn't going to come. And I was like, come on, Mom. I'm going to finish around like 8:15 and then you can go home. It's like, it's not taking up your entire day. And she was so glad she came. She's like, that was so much fun, just seeing downtown and seeing all the people. My dad sent a picture. I know I have you on camera so you can kind of see it. My dad sent a picture to his friends. He's not even smiling in it. It's just a group text. And he put at the flying pig, Toria ran. And then his friend was like, you look happy. I don't know if you can see that.
I'm just straight face staring at the camera.
He was loving it though. He would never do that stuff if it wasn't me getting him out of his comfort zone.
Yeah, and plus the vibe of the pig is so fun, and especially this one because of COVID, obviously, and even whenever it was the pig and the queen bee jointly, which was a weird, funky thing last year because it was finally could be in person again. So that the queen bee's typically in October and the flying pig's typically in May. So last year they took the pig and queen bee and did them together in October. And I worked at the expo with Aaron from Me Active, and it was just not a vibe. It was just so different than usual. And everybody was still wearing masks, which I didn't think was going to be a big deal, but nobody wanted to make eye contact with you. It was, especially being a vendor. And I dressed like crazy. So I was like, oh yeah, come on, come over here and have fun. And everybody was just like, nope, I'm picking up my packet. Peace out. It was just such a weird, strange vibe. So having it this weekend, where even when I went to pick up my packet on Friday, I'm like, oh, this is 2019 vibes. You could just tell everybody was like, oh my God, we are back. Let's have fun. Woo!
Yes. I wanted to give your friend too a shout out, the Me Active.
Yeah.
Because I was deciding what I was going to wear for race day. So Tuesday I ran in my Lululemons. Thursday I ran in my Me Active, and I was with my neighbor. And I was like, on Tuesday, I was pulling up my Lululemons left and right. We ran 2 miles, and I was like, this is freaking miserable. And I wind up wearing my Me Active because I didn't have to pull them up one time.
Nice.
Yeah, they stayed up really, really well.
Yeah, her leggings are, she just ran the Boston Marathon, so she kind of
What?
I know, right? So she kind of understands good running clothes or clothes that, that you need to bounce around in and doesn't move while it's also still being comfortable. And here, preview, even though I'm not officially announcing this yet because I am waiting for some finalized details, but at my big Pound This party, which is an all-day wellness live podcast 40th birthday party.
Oh, shut up. I didn't realize it was a big 4-0.
It's the party is August 6th, which is the day before my 40th birthday. So my 40th birthday is August 7th. This party is August 6th. And as part of your ticket price included, you'll get a free pair of Me Active leggings, which is an $88 value.
They're good too.
So I'm really excited that me and Aaron kind of worked out a lot of details for this event that I'm throwing. And I love that everybody's going to be able to leave. Well, on top of everything else. So you're going to get lunch and snacks and swag and leggings and drink tokens and all sorts of crap that I've been
maybe
working
me
in.
and Ellis would buy. Is it 21 and up or is it?
I don't think you'd want a baby there all day. It's an all day thing. So
okay, I was going to say maybe we could swing by.
You can stop by and you can pop in if you want to. You're totally welcome to do that. But it's from 9 to 5, so it's a long day. But I'm getting 3 podcasts in there covering mental, physical, and sexual health.
Oh, I love that. That's a topic not everyone talks about. So.
I know. And Rochelle, who's been a podcast guest before, she's hilarious and absolutely amazing. She's coming in to do one of the live podcasts, and we're going to do Q&As with all of them. And then from 4 to 5 will be a happy hour with birthday cake and drinks and all sorts of stuff. So keep an eye out, even though I know I'm talking about this now and I'm like, I don't have tickets available yet. I'm releasing this podcast today as we're recording it, so hopefully sometime this week. But I just wanted to bring up that those leggings are going to be included in that event because, they're so nice.
They're good stuff.
And it's awesome that, even if you're not in Cincinnati, it's local to Cincinnati, but she also donates part of the portion of the proceeds to women's charities, and so she does really good work. So
good stuff.
She's been awesome.
I got a sports bra and some like a long sleeve shirt, and it was all really great.
Yeah, it's good to run. And I ran in. Well, I didn't run. I walked. I did my casual coffee walk in her leggings yesterday too, just because they're so comfy. And I just like, not the ones which I have some that like have that one like thing around the belly, you know what I'm talking about, where it's just like it cuts into you.
And I just like, I got the ones that have pockets too, which was really nice to have during the pig, because I had like my inhaler in one side, my phone in the other side. Had to take my inhaler with all this crap going on. I was like, whew.
Did you need to use your inhaler during the race?
I used it at the beginning before we started. I took 2 puffs, got the shakes, and then ran it out.
Oh my God. I'm so excited that you had like such a good experience.
I did. It was a lot of fun.
From working on it so much, and just even like going over to the Fleet Feet tent, even though I wasn't part of the Fleet Feet group, like it's just such a vibe with everybody there too. And, just I love that it's just like the sense of community of everybody not only doing the race and good vibes, but everybody's just kind of hanging out together afterwards.
Yeah, there were some women that I ran with regularly during my runs at Fleet Feet. And I could not find them to start the race, but I saw them afterwards. And I was like, it's just like big smiles. Like, how'd you girls do? Because they ran it all together, all 3 of them. And I ran solo, which I was happy to run solo. I was talking to my neighbor about it, Shaw. He was going to do the extra cheese, 3-way with cheese. But he said, just so you know, if you defer your race, it doesn't automatically register you. So he didn't even get to do the pig, which was not a bad thing because he made it up. He ran a half in Columbus. So he still got to run and do his training. But he was telling me, I said, I'm just going to like run by myself, I think. He's like, honestly, he's like, running your own race is the best thing you can do. Like, don't compete with anyone. Just do your thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah.
Before I forget too, I want to do a follow-up from the last time we talked. We talked about how you had just like discovered those lumps in your boobs. And did you get all the results back from that?
I did. It was fibroid, I don't know how to say it, but little fibroid balls. So I have 2 of them. The one, they only did a biopsy on one. They're going to, in 6 months, they always do a follow-up. So they'll check them again to make sure they're not like growing. Because he said they come in pairs. That's why he's like, we didn't even, biopsy the other one because they come in pairs. And they were like, this is going to be your first pair you get of probably 10 your entire lifetime. So they were like, we can just leave them go. Or, if they start to grow a little bit, we can remove them if they become like uncomfortable. But yeah, they're fine. They haven't caused me any pain. So
that's good.
And he's like, oh, you'll have the results. I had it done Tuesday, the biopsy. He's like, you'll have the results by Thursday. I got the results Wednesday.
Nice.
I was like, this is nice. So yeah. Nothing to worry about. Knock on wood.
Yay. Well, I mean, outside of running, do you have any other goals? You got anything else going on? I mean, I got used to seeing you all the time from training for all this. And now I'm like, oh,
I know. We have to do like a weekly walk. As long as you don't care if I bring Elle and I push her in her stroller.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. Actually, a couple things. One, I'm starting this week. I'm joining actually a Fleet Feet walking group with Children's Hospital. And so you walk with kids from Children's. And so,
oh my gosh.
So I'm excited about that. I start that this week. And then again, no promises yet. This is just a discussion. So anybody listening to this is like, oh my God, is this going to happen? I'm not sure, but we are both very hyped about it. I had a meeting with our friend Ray that we used to work at the radio station with, and he works at Cincinnati Animal Care now, which is an animal shelter in Cincinnati. And we had discussed trying to put together a puppy parade where we walk with foster parents and their dogs, and then get a walking group together. Anybody wants to come walk with adoptable dogs. So
I will be there.
Okay,
you let me know when it is.
Yeah, so we're again, one of those things I'm hoping wasn't like, wow, this is going to be a great idea. Let's do this thing, and then it falls apart because everybody's so busy. But I really hope that comes together and
works out.
At least try one of them, and I think that'd be an awesome excuse to get everybody to come out and just go for a walk, like on a Monday night or something.
You were asking my goals, though. I think my goals moving forward are to, especially now that it's warmer outside, I want to do like a nightly walk every night with Elle, like at 5 o'clock, and Bean, my dog. Bean can't really go over 0.71 miles. Then we throw her in the bottom of the stroller. Oh yeah, girl's got really bad. She's a bulldog, so just move every day. I think is going to be my goal.
That's an awesome goal.
Move.
Can you put Bean in the stroller too?
Oh, yeah. After 0.71, she goes underneath the stroller in the basket. She does not mind. She loves it.
Oh, dude, I think we talked about this before. I can't remember if you have one or not. Do you have a cat stroller?
Yes.
Does it work? Do they like it?
I mean, it works, but my cats hated it.
Oh, okay.
I think they had a lot of change. You know, they went from our apartment to a house, to the dog, to the baby. They're like, you put me in that freaking stroller and I will put your ass on the ground. They've been a little antsy.
Well, I want to try using a cat stroller, but I don't want to buy one. I'm like, that seems like an investment.
You can have mine.
Oh, dude, I will totally get your cat stroller. I think
I'll bring it to you because we can go on a walk. I'll bring Elle and Bean, and we can go, and I'll bring it with you.
Okay,
or
awesome.
With me.
Yeah, and I'll have to try
it. Or maybe
it.
I won't bring Bean because Bean will pester your cats. So I'll just bring Elle in the stroller.
Yeah, and I don't know if you'd want to. If I'd bring me and the cat, you'd have to come to the west side, which is not the most walkable. So we might have to do a trade-off. Go walk somewhere, and then I'll get the stroller, and I'll
like
have
a
to
cat stroller drug deal.
Yeah, that's normal.
Oh my gosh, I've got to tell you, we had my dad's 60th birthday party, and my mom gets this cake. It looks really cool. My dad has a 69 Firebird, so that's kind of like what she based the theme of the party around, was his Firebird, like old classics, you know, since he's 60. This cake. Literally, I'm like, Mom, this is on you. She took it to my grandma's house to leave it so my dad wouldn't find it. But you know how, like, when you order a specialty cake, they're like, keep it in the fridge until 2 hours before you eat it to give it time to, like, soften up. She left it on my 97-year-old grandma's counter with no AC overnight. So this cake, I don't know if you saw it on my story. Literally, we're driving it there, and she's like, Tori, the whole bottom just crumbled. It broke in half.
Oh, no.
My dad was laughing so hard. He's like, still tastes good.
Did you get him a stripper or anything?
No stripper, but he did have 6 Mick Ultras.
Getting after it.
I know. My dad is like, he's like pre-diabetic because he keeps up on all his work, like his blood work and stuff. So he's been doing the lighter beers. Gotcha. Even though he was a Busch Light drinker. And I'm like, I feel like that's water. But so he's been really, I mean, I'm proud of him. He's been watching it, very conscious of it.
Wow. I like that Busch Light was his drink of choice.
Oh, yeah. My mom accidentally got my dad Bud Light one time. She's like, look, she got me the name brand. And I was like, well, Busch Light is also a name brand, Dad. It's just really gross.
I mean, I guess you could do like a Natty Light. I guess I would put that on the same tier as Busch Light. At least Busch Light like has a camo can. Like I feel like
they're cool now.
Yeah, it has some sort of I guess it kind of has like Grandpa hanging out in the in the shed vibes to it.
That's my dad. Oh, he mows the grass in his Daisy Dukes, his no shirt, and then his work boots that are covered in mud with a Busch Light.
Sexy. Oh man, see what your mom was going after.
I know.
There.
And opposites attract me because my mom is a diva. She's got nice clothes. She upgraded her diamond on my wedding day, like for her wedding ring.
On your wedding day?
She's got her nice watches. And then you've got my dad, who's the simplest man ever. He hit a deer with his 25-year-old car, and he's keeping the car. He said he can just pop the dent out, is what he said.
Did he keep the deer?
No, he's not that kind. He's not a hunter, and he's not one to like skin a deer and eat it. That's not him.
Okay.
He's just a simple man in the fact that he doesn't care what anyone thinks of him. And more people need to be like Dwayne.
I mean, yeah. I mean, life is much happier whenever you don't care what other people think.
Oh, yes. And that's my dad. He does not care one bit.
Well, I'm glad he had a good birthday. And I mean, what a day to celebrate. Having his birthday and the day you did the 10K. Like, it was a busy weekend for you.
Yeah. My sister and I are taking him to Jeff Ruby's. He's never been. The nicest steakhouse he's been to is Longhorn.
Nice.
Steakhouse. So he's not going to know what to do.
Oh, yeah. I guess you're going to have to make sure he puts a shirt on.
I told my mom, I'm like, I need him to be in slacks and a button down, which he has no problem with. He's always like, my mom dresses him and he looks nice.
That's awesome. Well, we're going to have to schedule our walk then, and we'll have to keep up with each other. And of course, like, you're always welcome to like come back on the podcast and we can just like make fart jokes and stuff. So
heck yes, I'm down for that because I'm not working in radio right now. So this is like my little getaway.
Yeah, right. The time to be on the microphone, even though we didn't really do any like, I guess, show prep. I mean, we could talk about Amber Heard pooping the bed real quick.
is up with that? And then she tried to blame it on the 5-pound dogs. Like,
I know, right?
Okay.
Dude, yeah, like I just can't even imagine. Like I was just having a conversation yesterday where I was like, man, I want a time machine. I want to go like back in time to like Johnny Depp's like Tim Burton era, whenever, you know, he's like the height, and then be like, yo, hey, I'm from the future, and in the future you're going to be known for your girlfriend who's going to take a big dump on your bed. Okay, catch you later.
What in the world? I've been like, keeping up with the trial on TikTok, and some of this stuff, I'm like, oh my gosh.
It is just,
Wow.
it's just crazy. I can't believe it's real life. Like, it's
I
just
know.
like, it's bonkers. I didn't know anything about it until TikTok, and
Me
I started
neither.
getting the videos, and I haven't been watching the trial. I'll just see whatever TikToks come my way. And I'm like, how is anyone taking this, like, in that courtroom super seriously? It's like a movie. It's like, what is coming up? And like,
Yes.
her lawyers are just like terrible. And it's like, what is happening?
It probably will be a movie someday, but like I was watching it and the courtroom's like laughing. And I'm
Yeah.
like, wait, is this serious right now? It's a mess.
I just see like Johnny Depp's like drawing pictures of his lawyer on Post-it notes and handing them over to him. Like, what is this?
And they show up to the courthouse like listening to like Bob Marley really loud.
Oh my God. So yeah, that has entertained me. And I'm like, man, I don't even know if you could get away with it. Probably not. But if I was like, you would have to do something. But if we were on the radio still, you would have to come up with some sort of content around that. And I'm like,
Oh,
what
yeah.
could you do? Poop in the bed.
Pooping in the bed, man. And, like deliberately pooping in the bed too. That's interesting.
I would have
Like,
never
wasn't
thought to
even
do
an
that.
accident.
I don't know if that thought would have never crossed my mind in my entire life. I've never thought like, I'm so angry, I'm going to pop a squat over someone's pillow and let's go. Like,
And like, did she plan the poop out perfectly, or did she force it out? Because I can't force a poop.
yeah, it feels like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it doesn't
Like
seem like
that-
she's owning up to it. So
I don't care how mad I am at John. I would never think to like poop on his pillow.
can you imagine if he pooped on yours? Like if you just like came to like bed one night and there's just like, you're like, did you poop on my pillow?
You move the sheet out of the way and there's just a little present.
Yeah, I'd be like, listen, I'm going to need the video footage of you doing this. Like, cause that
I
would just be
wonder-
hilarious.
If that was what drew the line for him, like, all right, we're done.
It doesn't really seem like it. It seems like they put up with a lot of weird stuff.
Yeah.
And that doesn't even feel like that drew the line. It was just kind of like, there's another thing that happened. I mean, that's at the point where you know
Add
you're
to
in
the
a
list.
all right, that you're in a bad relationship where someone takes a dump on your pillow and you're just like, yeah, it's just another day. It's Wednesday.
Just another day. Ugh.
Of course she did. Yeah.
And then her attorney, like those videos of him always saying like hearsay.
Yeah.
Have you seen the TikToks where they like break it down? Like Johnny Depp won't even say anything yet, or he'll ask them the question and he'll answer it and he'll say hearsay.
Right?
And I'm like, wait a second, what's going on?
Yeah, I've been on a jury once, and it was for a week, and it was when I lived in New York because this dude, it was a drug deal gone bad, and dude got shot 6 times and lived. And yeah, it was intense.
That's amazing.
And so like, and it was, I mean, it was intense. Like it was, I
Yeah.
mean, we were on the jury all week. Weren't sequestered or anything. We got to go home. But it was like, I can't imagine anybody like cracking jokes or anything. There was one point I laughed out loud because the lawyer came up to one dude and they're like, oh, you were doing marijuana cigarettes. And he's just like handed him a baggie and he's like, can you tell me what this is? And the guy on trial like sniffed it and goes, that's weed, and like that. And I started laughing and no one else in the courtroom laughed and everyone death stared me. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry.
Of course
That was
they did.
hilarious. I'm like, so if you're in the Johnny Depp trial and it's like a stand-up routine, I'm like, I can't imagine that it, like, again, I guess it's just hella weird of like, how is that
Yeah.
real life? Because that was nothing like the trial I was on.
And also, how did they find a jury that doesn't know who Johnny Depp is? You know,
Right?
or follow that case? I was on jury duty for 2 weeks once for a medical malpractice, and I had the best freaking time of my life. I think everyone should do jury duty, especially when it's an interesting case.
Was it really interesting? Like, was
Oh,
there
heck
a
yeah.
lot
I
of
learned
drama?
all about pulmonary embolisms. I basically was, at that time, a traffic reporter, a attorney, and a doctor who specialized in lungs. But no, it was really, really cool. We wind up finding the doctors not guilty because there was just too much evidence that they logged with their charts and stuff that they did all they could do. The gentleman was like 400 pounds. Like he was very overweight and not the healthiest. And it just, I mean, it was what it was, but it was very interesting. I think everyone should sit on jury duty just to learn the system a little bit. But the whole process of them like eliminating jurors too, like there was someone that was just like, my cat has a UTI. I have got to go. And they're like, ma'am, you've got to sit down. She got up again. And at that point, they were like, just get rid of her. Let her leave. Because I'm like, do you want her sitting down as a juror if that's what she's concerned about?
Well, that's where everyone told me at the time. They're like, oh, if you tell them you're a member of the media, they're going to like shoo you out of there. They absolutely did not. Me either. And so at the time when you're being interviewed in front of the whole families in all the whole cases, like these people that have an investment in the outcome, and they're like, what do you do for a living? And I'm like, I work in broadcasting. And they're like, where do you work? I'm like, I work for Entercom. Like, I'm just trying to not say what radio station. They're like, what is that? I'm like, radio. They're like, what radio station are you on? I'm like,
does it matter?
Yeah. And I'm like, 98 PXY. And then like, oh, then they put me on the jury, and I'm like, now all these people know what radio station I work at and where to find my ass if they don't like the decision that's made.
That's so dangerous, I think.
Thank you.
So freaking dangerous. Well, and mine too, they ask the questions to like weed out the people that have maybe had conflict, and can't. And they're like, it was medical malpractice. So they'd be like, have you guys ever had any like situation where you've been against the hospital or whatever? And somebody will stand up like, I hate doctors and all medicine. Like, get them out. Get them out.
They have to just be playing that card to get out of there. But
I don't know. I mean, it's Kentucky, so.
I mean, that's true. I mean,
they like stand up in overalls like, I hate the medical system. And they're like, bye.
I'm like, although after being on the jury, like I did enjoy the process too. Like that's where it's like everybody tries to get out of it, but I did really enjoy it. And then it was cool at the time because I was doing mornings and I didn't have to wake up at 3:30 in the morning every day. So I was like, oh hell yeah, I got to sleep until like 7. And
I got paid from my actual work.
Yeah, I did too.
And I got, $12 a day or something, whatever it was, maybe $12 a week for that.
I did that, and I got to drink a peach Snapple every day. So I was like, man, I'm just like living the life out here as a juror. But yeah, I don't remember there was no wild stories in my experience of anybody trying to get out of it. But it was just like, it was the day that the process happened was forever long and boring though, of just them choosing a jury. That was a snooze fest.
That was a lot. Yeah. I didn't think that I would honestly get picked because there was like 400 of us. I was like, how the hell did they weasel me out down to 12 people? I guess I just was like the most, like, I wasn't biased.
Yeah, it's not like you know a lot about the healthcare system, I guess.
Honestly, I dressed like Reese Witherspoon in Legally Blonde. So they were probably like, that girl. I was ready for it. Every day, it was like 9 to 5. I'd get up and I'd put my pencil skirt on because I'm radio. You don't dress like that.
Oh, yeah.
I took it very seriously.
That's awesome. I don't remember anybody else at the radio station being on jury duty. I know Jesse was supposed to be on a jury once and he got out of it because like our boss at the time is like, no, we're in a ratings period because they have such a weird boner about you being in a ratings period, although you are all the time about you can't function as a human.
Yeah, and no other radio stations did that. So
no,
it was just us.
I had that in the past for like old antiquated systems, and even then they didn't care. But I mean, this goes into the weeds, but it's like in a PPM market. I've worked in other PPM markets, and it's like doesn't matter. You're always in a ratings period, but yeah, it was one of those things where they're like they said that and they meant it, and he got out of being on a jury because of that.
So annoying.
But I don't remember anybody else going through that experience. And then at the time, it's just like show prep, baby.
I know. I know.
Did you talk about it on the air? I guess that's hard whenever you're doing traffic.
After the fact, I did. I was never at work because it would go on that long. So it would start at like 8 a.m. and then it would end at like 5, sometimes 6. So I was never actually at work. So I did talk about it after the fact when I was allowed to.
See, it must have been one of those weeks when we're like, and here's Toria with traffic. Hey, it's Denise with traffic. Damn it!
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
We forgot.
And then you look like an idiot. It's fine.
Oh, I didn't care. It's fine with me. I thought it was funny.
Jesse didn't. Jesse would email Grover and get me in trouble if I forgot to tell him I was out. I still give him crap for that.
Oh my God.
Sorry.
On that note, I will let you go on with the rest of your day. But thank you again so much. I know this was kind of, I kind of sprung this on you last fall I felt like forcing you into trying to do a 10K. So I'm really glad that you enjoyed the experience of running, and it's something that when you want to continue to do is super exciting for me. I'm really glad that you like it that much. You want to keep doing it.
You pushed me out of my comfort zone, and for that, I'm grateful.
Oh.
And I forgot to thank you on my post. I thanked Fleet Feet, and I don't know what I was thinking. I think because I was just like all wrapped up and being down with that tent that I totally forgot.
You bitch.
Shout out to you. I know, because you motivated me, you pushed me out of my comfort zone, and you cross-trained me. So
yeah, I'm just glad that you did it, and thank you for sharing, obviously here on the podcast, the progress and everything. And I'm super proud of you for doing it, and I'm glad it was a good experience. And yeah, I'm excited you're gonna run some more, and we'll definitely have to get together and walk. And you're gonna have to give me that cat stroller because
it's all yours.
I need social media content, Toria.
Do you see this right now?
Where your dog is just like, come on,
modeling
girl,
in the background.
I do like that you censor her butthole on
every time.
On
Although I've kind of stopped because now that people know that it's looks like Jesus, I'm like, they know now.
Oh yeah.
Amen.
Again, throw out your Instagram, your socials, wherever you want people to follow you.
At Toria Cannon is my Instagram, and I think I have a business Facebook too. That's the same thing. I'm not really sure.
Wow, make sure you go follow that account. She obviously is very
Instagram
invested.
is at Toria Cannon.
Awesome, dude. Well, I will talk to you soon.
Okay, I'll see ya.
AmandaValentineBites.com